Right now, here's a live look this Sunday morning over Washington, D.C. The nation's capital and the entire country beginning to see the light after lifting the dark cloud that was the government shutdown. It was the longest in history and brought along unprecedented challenges. A week after lawmakers struck a deal, Americans are still in recovery mode. For the time being, the 730,000 federal workers who worked through the closure will receive back pay. Those checks are expected to start hitting accounts today. At least another 670,000 federal employees who were furloughed are having those layoffs rescinded. The SNAP program has been funded for the next year, with recipients getting their full benefits for November. And while most of the government will now be funded through January 30th, yes, we could be less than 11 weeks away from finding ourselves in the same circumstances again. So what can we do now to retain some control when financial emergencies strike, regardless of who you work for? Our Lacey Beasley joins us from the newsroom with a look at some of those hard lessons learned from that shutdown. Good morning, Lacey.
Hey, good morning, Robbie. Good to see you this morning. The shutdown left so many workers stunned and bank accounts frozen. No income for weeks. Now, many people were left feeling a job insecurity that they had never felt before. Financial experts say there are practical steps you can take to protect your money, whether you're impacted by a shutdown, unemployment, or any other interruption in income. Now, at least those furloughed in the government shutdown will get back pay, but there's no back pay for the more than 1 million Americans.
We need to be prepared because nobody's job is guaranteed anymore to go on ad infinitum. We don't always get to pick the day we retire. Sometimes we get retired. And studies have shown that the average family does not have enough money to get by 2 missed paychecks. If we had problems for more than a month or two, most people suddenly are out of funds and they're borrowing to make ends meet.
Now, you just heard from William Dendy, who's a certified financial planner. Some tips include keeping 3 to 6 months of expenses in an emergency fund. And it's important to choose the right kind of account for your savings. You want an account that pays high interest and allows you to withdraw funds without penalty. You can also use the state's Labor Department website to estimate how much you might get paid in unemployment. And Dendy says another thing you need to pay attention to are your needs, not your wants.
We need to go back to the needs versus wants, to do the strict budgeting, to realize what is necessary, and not to expand our lifestyles just as quickly as we can afford to with the numbers financially, but let's do it at a pace that allows us to build for the future and have some emergency reserves along the way. And that might mean that we don't quickly get the large house that we want, but we get something smaller and we move up as our family grows over time.